turn to John 6:32 and 33, if you would.
Okay.
6:32 and 33.
John 6:32 and 33.
Yep. And I'll just read it here for the audience.
Okay.
Jesus then said to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, it was not Moses who gave you the bread from heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." When it says that the Father gives you the true bread, who is the you here?
He's talking about himself. Oh wait, no. He's talking to the crowd that he's there with.
Are the non-elect part of this crowd to which the true bread is given?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so Father gives to the non-elect the true bread from heaven?
Correct. Yeah, because he's the bread of heaven. That's who he is.
Okay, so the you includes those who don't believe and grumble and ultimately walk away.
Correct. Christ has already told us in this chapter that they don't believe. Correct.
Okay, so is eternal life linked with the concept of the true bread from heaven?
Yeah.
Okay, can you separate eternal life from Christ's atoning work?
No.
Okay, so Christ's atoning work is related to the non-elect here.
How is that? I don't understand.
So if the Father gives you the true bread, and that true bread is eternal life, and that eternal life is connected to the atoning work of Christ, then the Father gives them Christ who dies for them.
Well, not necessarily. Jesus, the Father's giving them bread, but they reject it. They just don't
I
want
agree that they reject Christ, but
Yeah.
Is that true bread connected to the atoning work of Christ? I think you said yes.
Yeah, but he's not dying for them.
So how can you have eternal life connected to the atonement and it's available for them, but Christ didn't die for them?
Because I'm trying to think of an answer here. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, what if I say no? What if I switch my answer and say, no, it's not tied to it?
Just make sure you're answering the question, John, if you can.
Well,
sorry.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would just say, well, yeah, we would have to. It clearly is in context. I mean, I would say
it is in context, but that doesn't mean he's dying for them, though, because he's already told us that they don't believe.
Okay. So the phrase "life of the world," do the non-elect fall within the scope of that phrase?
Well, yeah, he's the only one who can give life to the world.
True. I'm asking, do the non-elect fall within the scope of that phrase?
I mean, it doesn't really seem to be talking about that in the context. He just seems to be saying that the bread that comes down and gives life to the world, he's that's who he is, because he's just showed us that he's the true bread out of heaven.
Right. So he gives these non-elect people true bread from heaven. And then he says, for the bread of God is he who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world. So if he gives them, the non-elect, true bread from heaven, are they part of this world, life of the world?
I mean, not necessarily, because world doesn't always mean each and every person. He could just be referring to the created order, which is what that word can mean.
Do you think that's what it means here?
Well, the created world and those whom he tends to give life to, yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. Let's just imagine someone named Brock. Let's say that Christ didn't die for Brock's sins. Okay, he's a non-died for. Since Christ's atoning work is the ground for forgiveness, upon what basis is God able to forgive Brock? Like, what's the legal foundation that God is able to forgive Brock?
If Christ was a just satisfaction in their place.
But he's not in this instance.
Right.
Christ didn't die for Brock. So is
Correct.
God able to forgive Brock according to his divine justice?
No, he's not. Because he hasn't been atoned for.
Okay. I rest my case on that one. We're going to move on.